Good afternoon, everybody. So, as usual, today is the second day teaching from His Holiness Dalai Lama about the Madhyamaka. We just go directly to the few points. At the beginning, His Holiness mentioned as in Lamrim, same as Lamrim. After we generate bodhicitta, then we need to practice 6 perfections. The 6 perfections practice we can put into 2 categories, which is practice of methods and practice of wisdom. So here I think is a few important things we must know. At the beginning, Chandrakirti prays to great compassion, because great compassion is the most important cause to generate bodhicitta, then cause to achieve omniscience. So when you generate bodhicitta, make sure the bodhicitta is, when we generate compassion, make sure the compassion is a very pure compassion. Therefore, first, the compassion which is merely absorb the suffering being without any condition, unconditional compassion. Second, when we practice compassion, we absorb the sentient being. Make sure the object of compassion, the sentient beings are not permanent, those are impermanent. Third, still we practice compassion, make sure the compassion without, contaminated by ignorance. Therefore, the third compassion, based on, emptiness of the sentient beings. So after you fully accomplish compassion, then you really need to engage the Bodhisattva deeds. The Bodhisattva's practices merely the 6 perfections. And the 6 perfections we can put into only 2 categories, which is methods and wisdom. Within the 6 perfections, the first 4 only category into methods. Then the last one, the perfection of wisdom, is only included into the wisdom practice. Then the number 5th, the concentration, the mindfulness of concentration can be, sometimes we can include into the methods, sometimes it include into wisdom. So all the Bodhisattvas practice, we can categorize into 6 perfection practice or practice of methods and wisdom. Clear? Then within the 6 perfection, first, practice of generosity. In order to bring, the disciple close to the teacher, or bring closer to the guru, the guru also must practice the generosity. The generosity is a very important cause to bring people closer to you. Generosity. Then there's the verses from the text, verses number 9. 9, right? 9. Number 9. 7, 8, 9. I think this is 9. At this point, the first cause of full awakening, the perfection of generosity, will become permanent, committed to the giving away even this very flesh. Giving become a sign to infer the unseen quality. Therefore, in order to achieve wealth in the samsaric level, we need to practice the generosity. In order to bring closer to you, closer to the teacher or guru, they also have to practice the generosity. Therefore, the practice of generosity is the first important cause to achieve Buddhahood. So, since you have been practicing generosity, finally you will have a very strong motivation to give all your belongings. Then at the end, even though when you need to give your body, your flesh, you can willingly able to give your body, your flesh, because you fully recognize everything, nature is emptiness. The second is practice of morality, practice of Shila. In order to become the practice of generosity very pure, the practice of morality is very important. When you're giving something to someone, make sure you control the desire about your name, fame, and returning. Also, when you're giving something to someone, the things which you're going to give, make sure it is very pure. For example, I steal, clothes from someone, then I give as a practice of generosity. It cannot be very pure. That means in the mental level, the motivation must be very pure. And the thing which is you're going to give, the thing also must come from with a pure condition. Therefore, in order to complete the practice of generosity, you need to practice ethical discipline. Discipline your mind, also discipline your body and speech and mind. Then third, why we need to practice the patience, the forbearance. Yes, you have a very compassionate mind. You are a Bodhisattva. You are willing to give everything to benefit others. And you you maintain your ethical discipline very purely for many years, sometime due to, timings or due to, the annoying people around you, then there's a dangers to decline your practice of compassion, practice of generosity, practice of ethical discipline. Therefore, you need to practice patience. Patience, right? There's an order. Ethical, first generosity, then ethical discipline, then patience. If you are not in patience, very easy to get angry, very easy to be very short-tempered, then the practice of generosity, practice of ethical discipline, practice of compassion cannot be complete course to achieve omniscience. So in order to complete the practice of patience, then there's a few verses, I think. third ground. For example, the first bhumi, the name, joyful like ground, sadhambu, very joyful like bhumi, very joyful ground. Because before you realize emptiness directly, you still have a fear about the ignorance. So when you realize emptiness directly, then you are almost free, from the ignorance. Then you have a very, great joyness. The second we name, the stillness ground. Because when you reach to the second ground, your ethical discipline is completely pure. There's no any negative, like a contentment with the ethical discipline. Then the third one, the bhumi of forbearance, or bhumi of illuminous. Because when you able to practice patience continuously, many years, then look like you totally eliminate the anger. Then you have a strong illumination of practice of patience. Also, at that time, the practitioner have a luminous kind of appearance around him or her. Therefore, the third bhumi, among the third, we just go to the sentence number 4. So why we need to practice patience? Why it is so important to practice patience? Because in our daily life, somebody hit you on your head, then you get angry and you hit back. When you hit back to the person, it doesn't mean the suffering you are experiencing is going to reduce. The suffering is always still there. Or somebody, use very harsh word to you, then you get angry, then you feel very unhappy. Then you use you use same harsh words to the person. It doesn't mean that unhappiness mind, the anger mind going to reduce. Therefore, the sentence number 4, look at, if you respond with the aversions when someone harm you, does your bitterness ever what was already done, right? It cannot be reduced. Therefore, there's no reason to, return, you're angry to someone. Therefore, it's important to be patient. So, continuously, with the realizing emptiness, then you can practice patience. Even though sometimes if you need to give, all your parts of body, still you're able to practice patience. Because the main reason is because you fully realize emptiness. This is mainly explained why we need to practice patience. Then next sentence, also is going to recite the sentence number 7 is the mainly, the downfall, the negative, the consequence of, getting angry. Is sentence number 7, right? Yes, 7. Sentence number 7. Again, why we need to practice patience in our daily life. Look at what disfigure your face and lead you to what is unwholesome. So when you get angry, you become very ugly. Ugly. Also, not just become ugly, you become ugly. Also, it leads you into all unwholesome actions. Also, action. Also, when you get angry, in that moment, you really cannot make the right, judgment. So all you do judgment with a very hurry. Not only that, then look in then swift to throw you to in the lower realms. If you cannot practice patience, then you always get angry. When you get angry, the anger, anger going to destroy it, the positive actions. At the same time, you accumulate negative actions. Therefore, if you're not able to practice patience, and the next life, there's a quite, dangers to born into lower realms. This is the consequence of not being patient, right? Being patient. Even though in our daily life, you can see so many problems within the, wife and husband, within the family, within the co-workers, within the friends. So many problems we have because we are not enough being patient. We're not able to practice patience because we're not able to see the consequence, the result of not being patient. Therefore, at the beginning, it is so important to see, the consequence of not being patient. Then sentence number 8. Forbearance make you attractive and dear to the sublime one. You become wise in knowing what is appropriate, what is not. Afterward, you gain the birth into Deva or human. So this is the opposite. What is the result? So what will be the result of practicing patience? Therefore, look at in the Buddhist tradition, before we practice anything, we need to know the benefits, the loss. If you're not able to practice patience, not able to be patient, you will have a lot of loss. You will have a lot of negative consequences. When you see the negative consequence, there you are willing or you are happy to practice patience. Therefore, at the beginning, we need to know the consequence of not being patient, the consequence of being patient. Then sentence number 9, I think continuously, 3-7, 3-8, 3-9. Knowing that faults and benefit of the anger and forbearance, respectively, of ordinary beings and bodhisattva, shown in tolerance and cultivate swiftly and constantly forbearance. Therefore, whether you are bodhisattvas, whether you are ordinary person, we have to practice patience. So this is, I think, then sentence number 12. Sentence number 12. Actually, sentence number 11 and 12 and 13 are both is very important. look at the sentence number 12 and 13. The three practice of generosity and so on. Then practice of generosity, practice of ethical discipline, practice of patience. Three. The three practice of generosity and so on, the Sugata, the lot mostly for the householder. They also constitute what is known as the collection of merit, and they are the cause of the Buddha's form of body. Within the six perfections, the first three practices are very, like a stable, very stable for the householder, like lay person. Generally, average the lay people has things to give away. Also, the average, the householder, the lay people, able to practice the ethical discipline. As a lay person, you can take the lay person vows and practice the individual Patimokkha vows. Then, as a lay person, you have so many challenge in your life. As a monk, they mostly live in like a monastery. The monastery has a good environment, has a harmonious. They didn't have a lot of kind of dangers to get angry. They are the first three practices very stable, very important for the lay person. It doesn't mean in the full audience, the monks and nuns no need to practice. They must. Compare with lay person and full audience, monks and nuns. The monks and nuns must, pay attention to practice of mindfulness and wisdom, plus the first three practices. Then, within the six perfections, the first five practices mainly cause to achieve Buddha body. Right? Here, I think you must remember, in the reality, there are true truth, the conventional truth and ultimate truth. And the true truth is a one entity, different oscillation. Due to the true truths, then there are two practices, wisdom and methods. Then the first five practice of practice of perfections include into practice of methods. Therefore, it is mainly caused to achieve Buddha body, like a Rupakaya, not the Dharmakaya. Then the last two practices, practice of mindfulness, particularly practice of wisdom, meditating on emptiness, is mainly caused to achieve the Dharmakaya, which is the Buddha's cessations. Right? So this is about practice of generosity, practice of ethical discipline, and practice of patience. Then, if we are able to practice the first three practices, practice of generosity, ethical discipline, patience, then for us, very easy to have a mindfulness meditation, the single pointed meditations. Because due to practice of generosity, we already reduce certain types of negative thoughts. Due to practice of ethical discipline, also we reduce a lot of negative thoughts, the manifest negative thoughts. Particularly due to practice of patience, we reduce the anger. Then we already have quite our mind become quite peaceful, very rest. then for us very easy to enter into the practice of mindfulness. Clear? Our mind is very mindful, very easy to focus on something. Then next, very easy to see the truth, the emptiness. Therefore, yesterday His Holiness mentioned, when you meditate on mind, then you will see the mind, the sixth mind. Once you're able to see the mind, then you need to analyze about the mind. When you analyze the mind, then you will realize the emptiness of the mind. So this is, I think, as the chapter 1 through 5. Next, like a chapter 6, right? Chapter 6 is the sixth ground is mainly about the wisdom. Sixth ground. Here, I think I will tell you the link with the first chapter is mainly about generosity, ethical discipline, then patience, then mindfulness, the wisdom. Therefore, the Bodhisattva, when they practice emptiness with the bodhicitta with the emptiness based on the practice of 6 perfections, then when they reach to the first bhumi, they didn't have any sense of attachment, sense of clinging about any belongings, particularly, all include the body. Therefore, they are able to give away everything. Second, when they reach to the second bhumi, the stillness bhumi, then their all actions, any kinds of action is very pure, no attachment. They already, see emptiness directly. Then all actions become very pure, stillness bhumi. Still, you are very pure, your ethical display is very pure, but how we control other people, right? Other people make you very angry. Therefore, Bodhisattva still, even though they reach to the second bhumi, still they can get angry. In the Bodhisattva path, the anger is the most dangerous enemy, right? So when they reach to the third bhumi, they fully control the anger. Then there's no kind of, chance to get angry. Then the fifth bhumi is called bhumi of kind of mindfulness. Because they reduce anger, they reduce attachment, they control ignorance, then they have a very deeper level of mindfulness. Then the wisdom. Chapter number 6, I think the wisdom chapter. So here His Holiness recite the second 6.2, very important. All of you already, attend Lamrim class in TBC. Here you must remember, within the 6 perfections, the perfections of wisdom look like eyes. Within our body, The eyesight is very important. If the person's eyes is, blind, the whole face cannot see as a beautiful face. Eye is very important. Here you must remember the artists, they complete all the painting except the eyes. Then we not consider, oh, the painting is very nice. Second, when you have eyes, you can see things very clearly. Therefore, the sentence number 2, 6.2, just as a single man with the eyes can easily lead a group of blind men to their desired destination. Right now, we are blind people. We can see the samsaric things, but we cannot see the emptiness. Emptiness. Therefore, we are blind people. We are blind person. When you realize emptiness, then you got the right eyesight to see things clearly as they exist. Then, if you have eyes, you can bring the blind people according to their desired destination. For us, we are blind because we don't have a wisdom. Therefore, we cannot go to our final destination, which is, it can be liberation, can be Buddhahood. In order to reach to the Buddhahood, in order to reach to the liberation, so we need the right eyesight, which is wisdom. Here too, intelligence lead us, sightless virtues and guide them to the conquered state. The lead to the, sightless virtues. Here, what we need to know, in the Lamrim mention, without realize emptiness, without realizing emptiness, all our virtuous action merely cause to the samsaric happiness, samsaric pleasant, samsaric wealth. With the realizing emptiness, then all our actions, positive actions, our practices can be caused to omission, can be caused to liberation. Therefore, it's mentioned about here, the sightless virtues and guide them to the conquered state. So this is Isuni mentioned. Then before he moved to next level, then he talked about the view. View means, I think most of you, have been studying the Nalanda course. Most of you know what does mean view, and how you can see the things. For example, there's a person and two people talking about the person. The first person said, oh, the person look very nice. He has a nice view about the person. The second person said, oh, the person is very ugly. The second person has an ugly view on the person. View means how you can see things, how you can, believe in. The history is mentioned about the 4 schools, particularly Chittamantar and Madhyamaka school. So the Chittamantra schools is very interesting. Also, if you have the good understanding of Chittamantra's point of view about how thing exists, therefore you very easy to enter into the the Madhyamaka's view. In the Chittamantra school, they divide all phenomena into 2: object and subject. Object and subject. They already, reject, they already deny nothing exists externally. Externally. That means you can see the house. The house is there, but the house is not there as a, what we perceive to us. That means you already cut, half of the kind of negation, but still they believe the external things, the house, the water, the mountain, they are not exist externally. They are not exist, kind of from the mainly collection of 5 elements. But still they believe the man is truly exist. They believe, truly existent mind. Therefore here, look at, everybody believe in next life and previous life. We believe. If somebody asks, who is really going to next life? Who is going next life? Who is coming from previous life? Because our body is not going to go to next life. Our body is not coming from the previous life. Then according to Chitta Mantra school, they assert the 8 types of minds. Within the 8 types of mind, the all basis mind, the afflicted minds, the minds, they recognize as a being, as a person. The minds go to next life. According to the first 2 lower school, they assert the continuum of the mind is person or being. Then next, the Madhyamaka school, there's a 2 school. One also, the autonomous school, they assert the continuum of the mind is the representative of the person, representative of the being. Then according to the consequences schools, Pasangika, no, the continuum of the mind, the minds, none of them we can posit as a being. The beings merely designation based on 5 aggregates. Now you can see, according to Chitta Mantra school, everything look like dream. Dream. Within the dreaming timing, within you are sleeping, you can see ugly dreaming, beautiful dreaming. Due to ugly dreaming, due to scary dream, you feel upset and unhappy. Due to the pleasant or beautiful dream, you feel happy. When you woke up from your sleeping, that means there's only mind. There's nothing ugly dream, neither ugly nor beautiful dream. Right? Then look at the according to the autonomous school, Swatantrika school. For them, look like you graduate from university. When you graduate university, the school give you the certificate, like a name of the doctor or PhD or whatever. They give you a name, give a title. In order to give a name or title certificate, you must have something from your side, right? That means it's a combination of something from your side, something from the university side. If you are very educated, you don't have a certificate, you don't have a name of doctor or professor, you cannot be doctor, you cannot be professor, right? That's why university must give a title, give a position, give a name. If you have only certificate, if you have only title, if you don't have any kind of knowledge, education, then merely title become useless. There's the combination of 2 sides, university side from your side. This is the, from the autonomous school, point of view from autonomous school. Then Chandrakirti, Nagarjuna, Buddha Palita, all the Pasangika proponents, they totally reject things exist from, something from the object side. For them, everything posit, establish only merely, designation. Also, you should not think, because in the English term we say Chitta Mantra school, right? In English they call mind only school. We should not say mind only. We must say merely mind school. Merely mind. We should not say mind only. Then he should mention within the, all the scholars, someone follow the consequences school, someone follow the Pasangika, someone follow the Chitta Mantra school. Within the scholar, they don't have the kind of the worldly attachment. They don't have an attachment about, their house or belonging. Still somebody some has a very strong attachment about their own view, their own stand. So this is mentioned at the beginning, and also he's already mentioned the three phenomena: the manifest phenomena, hidden phenomena, very hidden phenomena. In order to establish, in order to believe, accept the manifest phenomena, we no need to use any logics and reasoning. For example, when you see the fire, you no need to use logic. You no need to, use reasoning to prove this is fire. The manifest phenomena, no need to use any logics and reasoning. And also the modern scientists, particularly, the psychologist, content physicists, all the modern kind of scientists, they only deal, only analyze, only research about the manifest phenomena. Within the manifest, mainly about the matter, not the mind, not the emotion, not compassion. Within the manifest, there's a, like a two, matter and non-matter. They analyze, they study about only matter, not, non-matter, like mind and consciousness. Second, what are the hidden phenomena? For example, impermanent, emptiness, Four Noble Truth, liberation, omniscience, all of them include into the hidden phenomena. In order to believe this, in order to accept this, in order to approve this, you need to use logics and reasonings, particularly emptiness. Then next, sentence number 3.3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are very important. Sentence number 3, 6.3. So look at now here, Chandrakirti said, in order to complete the first 3 perfections, you need to realize emptiness or selflessness. The practice which is caused to achieve Buddha body also need to realize selflessness and emptiness. So there's different schools, there's a different master, there's a different, like a tradition. Whom should we must follow? Whom should he introduce emptiness based on? That means based on the Nagarjuna, right? Look at one who has realized the utterly profound truth through the scripture and the thought reasoning as well was the noble Nagarjuna. So I will expound here the tradition as it appears is as a treatise. This means Chandrakirti explained things in the middle way, intermediate way, based on Nagarjuna. Here, there's no doubt, Aryadeva was, real direct disciple of Nagarjuna. Because Nagarjuna and Aryadeva was together for many years. Then, Buddha Palita, also he's a direct disciple of Nagarjuna. But Chandrakirti, there's a lot of, arguments, lot of debate. Was he direct disciple of Nagarjuna or not? Because when you, study, when you do study about the how long Nagarjuna lived, so when Chandrakirti, study about Madhyamaka, there's a huge gap. Therefore, why I need to mention here, when you read books, many Western, like a doctor and professor, they don't accept, they don't believe Chandrakirti was the direct disciple of Nagarjuna. But according to Tibetan tradition, particularly Lama Tsongkhapa, so we believe Chandrakirti was the direct disciple of Nagarjuna. But Chandrakirti wasn't spent many years with the Nagarjuna, maybe very short time. So therefore he said, he explained based on Nagarjuna. It doesn't mean he's saying I'm, direct disciple of Nagarjuna. There's a lot of argument, lot of I need to study. So I just let you know there's a different, view. Then sentence number 6.4567 are mainly explain whom, he explained emptiness. Because at the Buddha lifetime, when he teach Parjana Paramita teaching, he teach the Parjana Paramita teaching for the selective disciples. So before Buddha Shakyamuni, in India, that before him, there wasn't, concept, notion of emptiness. Therefore, look at within the Four Noble Truths, he mostly explains selflessness. Emptiness is different meaning. So before Buddha Shakyamuni, there wasn't, concept of emptiness. When he give a teaching of emptiness, if he give teaching for publicly, there will be a lot of, criticizing. Therefore, he select, the student that he give a teaching about emptiness. Why? Because look at here, you can see the 4, 5, 6, 7. 4. Even ordinary person, when hearing about emptiness, share joy, search again and again within their heart, tear born from such as joy fill their eyes, and the hair stand up in the follicles. So the person who has kind of the ability to realize emptiness, the person who has the karmic connection about the emptiness, when you listen about emptiness, you have a very sense of joy, sense of happiness. Then you can have a kind of sense, they can come tears, tear come. This is one of the sign, oh, this person must be good to teach emptiness. Oh, those people not good to teach emptiness. Because when somebody say emptiness, someone can understand emptiness means nothingness. We should not explain emptiness those people, right? Then next sentence, 6.5. Such as people have the seeds of perfect Buddhahood. That means the people, when they listen, when they hear about emptiness, they have a sense of joy. That means those people have the seeds of perfect Buddhahood. They are the perfect vessel for this teaching in emptiness. To them, you should teach the sublime ultimate truth. For them, unceasing quality will come to the birth. Here, you should not have a misunderstanding about the seeds of the perfect Buddha. Okay, that means according to Mahayana tradition, all sentient beings have the Buddha seeds, Buddha nature. And what does mean, the person who, has the sense of joy, they have a Buddhahood, means those people are ready to repent the Buddhahood. The Buddha nature, ready to repent, ready to grow the Buddha nature. So also his didn't mention about the Buddha natures, different views. Below the Madhyamaka school, doesn't matter, Chitta Mantra or Svatantaka, doesn't matter. According to the rest of the first, except the Madhyamaka, Buddha nature means the potentiality to achieve Buddhahood. It's a condition, it's a conditioned phenomena. The Buddha nature is conditioned phenomena, which is mean the potentiality, the potential to achieve Buddhahood. That means all sentient beings has a potential to achieve Buddhahood. But according to the Madhyamaka school, the Buddha nature is not the conditioned phenomena. The Buddha nature is not the potential. It's the emptiness of the mind is the Buddha nature. Emptiness of the mind is the Buddha nature. Also, the mind itself is not the Buddha nature. The emptiness of the mind is the Buddha nature. That means all sentient beings has a Buddha nature, but the people who really, move by hearing about emptiness, they are ready to repent the Buddha nature. Then, when we explain emptiness, those people can get a lot of benefits. The next sentence, 6.6. Such as adopting the perfect morality, they will always abide by it. They will practice generosity and cultivate the compassion. They will practice the forbearance and will dedicate thoroughly the virtues of freedom from all beings. Okay, now here, what we can see, you can see very important point. Generally, we practice generosity, ethical discipline, forbearance, then mindfulness, then emptiness, right? But actually is opposite. First, we need to realize emptiness. We need to cognize emptiness. When you really cognize emptiness, then all practices will follow, will come automatically. Practice of generosity, because of things are emptiness. Practice of morality, because things are emptiness. Therefore, we must teach emptiness those people who has all this sign. Then the person can realize emptiness. Then the person practice all the practices include compassion. Therefore, yesterday somebody asking question, in order to practice bodhicitta, it is important to realize emptiness or not. It depends on the person. According to the consequences school, traditionally, first emptiness, then rest of the practice. Then 6.7. They will reverse those who aspire to perfect awakening, gaining mystery of way performed of the vast. Such a person will gradually attain the ground of the perfect joy. So all those who thus aspire, pray, listen to the path. So this is Cycle's today teaching. Then today all those questions are, I think, very interesting. I think all of you able to digest. First you able to understand the question, then I think you really able to understand the answer by His Holiness. The first lady asked, how, the Pasangika can establish the conventional phenomena, because according to Pasangika, except the non-dual mind, all minds, except the Buddha and the non-dual state of mind, the rest of the mind is the mistaken or falsy mind. Then how we can establish the conventional phenomena based on the mistaken mind. For example, we establish house. The mind which is established the house, the mind is mistaken mind. Then how we can establish the conventional phenomena? How we can establish, possess the house? Because for us, our mind is always mistaken mind, because we haven't reached to the seeing paths. We haven't become a Buddha yet. Then all our minds is a mistaken mind. According to the consequences school, you need to differentiate the mistaken mind and the I think wrong perception mind and mistaken mind. You must differentiate the wrong perception mind and the mistaken minds. When you look at for example, we have a eyes consciousness. When you look at eyes consciousness to the color, like a house, you can perceive the house. It's a valid cognition. It's a valid mind. It's a valid, still mistaken mind. Why? The eyes consciousness, which it perceive the house is valid. There's a valid. How it's come is a mistaken mind. It's a valid because they perceive the house. The thing which is perceived as a house is a real house. Yes, it's a valid. It's a mistaken mind because they perceive the house as a inherent phenomena. Therefore, it's a mistake. For example, somebody, when you go on the shop, you enter into the golden shop which is a lot of gold. there's a jewelry which is not made of gold, it's a gold polish. Let's say, you saw the ring with a gold polish. So you perceive the ring is a wallet, eye consciousness. You perceive as a ring, the thing is a ring. But still, your mind, eye consciousness is a mistaken mind because you perceive a golden ring. The ring is not gold. Therefore, the lady asked this question is very important. According to the Pasangika or Pasangika school, except the Arhat, the meditative occupied mind and the Buddha minds, the rest of the mind is mistaken mind, including bodhicitta, great compassion, all of this mistaken mind, but not the wrong. We cannot establish things based on the wrong mind. Still, we can establish based on the mistaken mind. Then rest of the question is, I think, actually related each other. So that time Israel is quoted, a sentence from the Namazongpa text. This is very important for us. According to Pasangika school, nothing exists inherently. Nothing exists from the object side. Everything merely designation, right? Then how we can differentiate between chair and table? Because both of them, table and chair, both of them merely designation. Then how we can differentiate? This is table, not a chair. This is a chair, not a table. So therefore, Lama Tsongkhapa said in the Madhyamaka school, particularly according to Pasangika school, most of the difficult view is the view which is you deny the inherent phenomena and establish everything as a merely designation. Right? You deny, you reject the inherent existence. Still, you must establish, merely designated phenomena. It is very difficult because when you reject, when you deny the inherent existence, sometimes you deny the actual phenomena. Then you knew, for example, the chair exists, but not exist inherently. When you think the chair is not exist inherently, at the same time you thought the chair is not existent, there's no chair. Then you fall into the nihilism. Then you have a doubt. No. The chair must exist because I can see, I can sit, I can use it, I can sit it, I can use it. The chair is there. When you establish the chair, when you possess the chair, at the same time, you are establishing the inherent chair, independent chair. Therefore, when you reject the inherent chair, but you must possess the chair, which is merely designated. So when you possess the chair, you possess the inherent chair. When you deny the existent chair, also you deny the chair. It's so difficult to separate. Verbally, I can say very well. Verbally, you can say. In the practical, when you really go in your practical level, it's so difficult. Therefore, before you become a Buddha, we don't have the ability to see the two truths simultaneously by one mind. when you perceive the emptiness, you cannot perceive the conventional truth. When you perceive the conventional truth, the mind cannot perceive the ultimate truth. It always, like a order, cannot perceive true truth simultaneously by one mind. Therefore, somebody asks, what is the cognitive? So cognitive, right? Second, somebody asks question is a link, the true truth, how to establish the cognitive operation. Cognitive operations. Here, I think all of you know very well, but still make sure you still remember. Different school has a different view. According to Pasangika, ignorance is the afflictive cognitive. It's cognized, cognitive for the operation for the liberation, not the operation for omission, ignorance, and attachment, anger, everything. Operation for the liberation, not the omniscient. According to the Pasangika. The rest of the school, no. Ignorance is the operation for omniscient, not operation for liberation. Then somebody asks, what is the, operation of omniscient? Then there's a, when His Holiness, were explaining about operation for omniscient, then I think it's Yangte Rinpoche, he was giving another kind of comment. It's a mistake. According to Pasangika, the imprint of the ignorance, the potential of ignorance is different. Different. Both of them, the imprint which is left by ignorance, the potentiality to arise ignorance, both of them operation for liberation, not omniscient. Therefore, that moment, Yangte Rinpoche said, no. The imprint of the ignorance is the operation omniscient. Is totally, I think, wrong. Therefore, His Holiness mentioned very clearly, very subtly, the Bodhisattva who are already reached to the 10th bhumi, 10th, the last 10th bhumi, 10th bhumi, during the meditative occupied, during the meditation, like duration, the Bodhisattva can perceive emptiness directly. He was meditating on the emptiness, but he or she cannot perceive conventional truth. When he or she arose from the meditation state of emptiness, he can perceive the conventional truth, not the emptiness, by one mind. The operation of omniscience is the obstacle, the obstacle which is obstruct to perceive the true truth simultaneously one mind is the actual operation for omniscience. One mind cannot perceive true truth simultaneously. This is the operation for omniscience. Then also His Holiness, explain when he answered, because for me, the language is switching. Is when I listen His Holiness teaching, His Holiness speak in Tibetan. Then when he speak Tibetan, the English translation come. I really need to switch all the website. So therefore, I'm not so clear about the another answer. When we meditate on emptiness, at that moment, for us, all the appearance to us, everything look like sky. When you look at sky, you know, without, there's no any clouds, you look at the sky, you look at the east, west, south, north, in the center, you can see everything is exactly the same. Just merely sky. You cannot see the eastern sky and western sky is different. You can see, you know, doesn't matter where you look at, everything is exactly the same. So when you meditate on emptiness, during that moment, when you think about pot, pillar, house, male, female, for you, every nature is same. You know, the reality of the Buddha, the nature of the Buddha, nature of the sentient being, nature of the male and female, everything is same as a sky. So when you arouse from the meditation state, then everything look like, you know, appearing as an illusion, delusion, illusion. How? For example, before you know, just arouse from meditation state, you are fully meditate on emptiness. When you arouse from that meditation state, for us, things are appearing to you, the house, the water, the, you know, food, everything you can see it, you can see them. For it look like it's kind of, you know, dreaming. It look like illusion, because you still have the, you know, the influence of the meditation. You still have the strong influence in your mind, which is influenced by the meditation of emptiness. Therefore, there's a two different, you know, kind of appearance thing during the meditation of emptiness, appearance of, you know, after arouse from emptiness. So this is, I think, quite today short summary about today's teaching. So we can start to have a question and answer.
Okay, hello everyone. So if you have any question, you can raise your hand or you can message the host. Okay, Sukim. Okay, Sukim, you can unmute yourself and ask each other questions.
Hi, Geshida.
Yes.
Thank you for your teaching. Yeah, I just want to clarify on this point. You mentioned that the imprints of the obscurations is not the obscuration to omniscience. It is the inability to see the true truth that's the obscuration to omniscience. But
yes.
What we are taught, I think, is that, for example, the durian is the afflictive emotions, and the smell of durian, which is the imprint left behind by the durian, is the obscurations to omniscience. So I'm not sure. I just want to clarify. Is that correct or?
In a way, yes, correct. In a way, not correct. Look at this is the analogy according to the below the Pasangika school. Below the Pasangika school, the durian is the afflictive emotion or ignorance. When you eliminate the ignorance and the afflictive emotion, still you have the imprint, which is lived by ignorance. It's like the smell. Smell we call, you know, pacha. So according to the Pasangika school, the ignorance, afflict emotion, as well the imprint, which is led by ignorance, also is a obscuration for liberation, not omniscience. So you are right, because according to the other school, you are very right. According to the Pasangika school, it is incorrect. Yeah. Clear? Okay, next question, please.
Okay, Kishila, there's questions from Kim.
Mhm.
Kim question is from the Prasangika school. The object of negation for both self and phenomenon is the emptiness of the inherent existence. So her question is, why is it that when one realizes the emptiness of self, the person does not simultaneously realize the emptiness of phenomenon?
Can you repeat, please, again?
Okay, so the person asking, Kim asking that when one realizes in the meditation state, when one realizes the emptiness of self, means the person does not simultaneously, that means not concurrently and able to realize the emptiness of phenomenon. Not together.
Oh, yeah. Okay, therefore, I think when we do meditation on emptiness, there's two different ways. One is I think generality meditation. First you need to reflect about person and phenomena both. Person and the five aggregates, you reflect both of them. Then you just think both of them not exist inherently. Then you just hold your mind that state. That moment you are meditating on both emptiness of the phenomena, emptiness of the person. When you go very particular, specific, when you meditate on emptiness of the person, you are not meditating on emptiness of the phenomena, but still you are able to reduce, control the ignorance about the phenomena. On the other hand, when you meditate, when you go very particular, meditate on the emptiness of the phenomena, mainly five aggregates, that moment you are meditating on emptiness of the phenomena, not meditating on the emptiness of the self, but still you are able to control the ignorance of self. Therefore, I look at all the Madhyamaka teaching, they always talk about the non-dual object and subject, non-duality. Therefore, when we see the sentence or verses or stanza about non-duality, non-dual, it depends on what kind of non-dual it talk about. Therefore, for you, there are two different ways, meditating on emptiness in the generality way and particular point. When you meditate on the very particular or specific emptiness, that moment you are meditating on only the particular emptiness, not other, still able to control. Yes, the ignorance. Quite clear?
Kim, I hope you get the answer from Kishila. Okay, the other questions?
Yes, please.
Yes, yeah. Okay, then I will come to some questions that have written message us. In a minute. Okay, I may not able to comprehend this question fully, but I'll try. So this question is from Olisan from Ukraine. She said, thank you, Kishila. So Kishila told about realization of nature of the mind and its emptiness. So is it one of the methods of realizing emptiness, or it is actually included in the method of realizing emptiness of the person? And so if to actually realize emptiness of the person, does it mean that we cannot achieve it without realizing the nature of the mind?
Okay, I think this is very common kind of confusion. Many people, when we say nature of the mind, we talk about nature of the mind, we never talk about nature of the body, okay, generally. When we think the nature of mind, particularly when you go into the Dzogchen tradition, or this, they always explained, always mentioned, you need to recognize, you need to identify the nature of the mind. You must identify nature of the mind. According to that context, he's talking about the conventional nature. For example, the golden, the nature is yellow. The silver, the color nature is white. Same thing, according to the Dzogchen tradition, they always ask, tell you, you must recognize, identify the nature of the mind, which is clear and awareness. The nature of mind is very clear, look like crystal, but it has the ability to aware things. This is one level of nature of mind. Second, when we say nature of mind, we are talking about the emptiness. Let me look at, when we think about the nature of person, there's a many different meaning. Oh, the person nature is very compassion. This person nature is very angry. There's a one type of nature. Second, the person is impermanence. It's a second, another type of nature. But the fine one, the person nature is empty of inherent existence. This nature can be, covers all phenomena. This kind of emptiness we call emptiness of the phenomena. When you realize emptiness of the mind, then there's also very easy to realize emptiness of the person, because the mind is one of the 5 aggregates. For example, you have a doubt with 5 people. For example, you lost something, then you have a doubt with the 5 people. The first you really study about this person, make sure this person still stole my things or not. Once you realize this person is not really actual, stole things from you, then your doubt become more easy to solve the problems. Same way, when you realize emptiness of the mind, then you have a need to study only 4, like feeling, like a discrimination, so and so. So if you only try to realize emptiness of the mind, it's easy to understand emptiness of the person. It doesn't mean emptiness of the mind is included into emptiness of the person. No. In the same way, the emptiness of the person is also not emptiness of the phenomena. Also, you should not think because the person is phenomenon, but these are, like a term. Generally, the person is phenomena, but the person is not the phenomena, which is we distinguish between phenomena and person. Yes, therefore, I think for you, I say yes. Once you realize emptiness of the mind, for you very easy, you already move one step towards to realize emptiness of the person. Yes. Next question, please.
Hi, Kishila.
Yes.
Actually, this question comes about when a Dharma friend asked me a question. After the yogi arrives from direct realization of emptiness, during the meditative equipoise, how he will seize illusory light appearances. Then he asked me, therefore, does it follow that these illusory light appearances are form, And therefore, if form, illusory light appearance, which are form, are established by a rational consciousness, which is a conceptual consciousness, as illusory light, therefore it follows that a conceptual mind is able to perceive a form. Therefore, that is wrong to say that it's a conceptual mind, but it should be a direct perceiver. Then we will run into the problem of that mind being a direct mental perceiver. So how to answer his question? Yeah.
No. I cannot see any kind of, uncomfortable to say, I cannot see any contradictions. Yes, the yogi, when they arose from the equipment meditation from emptiness, yes, they have a kind of appearance, light appearance. The light is form.
Mm-hmm.
The light is form. The form also, apprehend by conceptual mind, also apprehend by the eyes consciousness. It depends consciousness. So what's the problem when you say the second one? Why?
Okay, so if we say that, for example, a cup is the appearance of a cup, the appearance of illusory cup is perceived by the rational consciousness that establish it as being illusory light, right? Therefore, a rational consciousness, according to what I study, is a conceptual mind. Maybe I have problem with that. Is it a conceptual mind or a direct perceiver? Okay, maybe my question is, the rational consciousness that establish illusory light appearance, that what is the nature of that mind? How to classify that mind?
Is a conceptual mind, or is a direct conceptual or non-conceptual mind? That the nature of mind is both a clear and awareness. One nature. Second is both nature is emptiness. Then you are, I think, with you need to differentiate. Are you not, the person makes sure not confusion about the appearance and the imaginary.
Okay.
Imaginary, okay. Appearance means the object. For example, after you arouse meditations, whatever, you can see things, is appearance. When you appear to the eyes consciousness, you use a direct perception.
Okay.
The things appear to the conceptual mind. Between conceptual mind are the thing, between there's an imaginary.
Mental image, is it?
Yeah.
Is that mental image?
Yeah, mental image.
Okay, so therefore, the rational conscious, when we say that, can I first you see a cup, the eye consciousness see a cup, which is a form.
Yeah.
Then after that, the conceptual mind see the appearance of the cup as being illusory light. That is the mental image, and it's established by conceptual consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Also make sure the eyes perceive the cup, not the imaginary. The conceptual mind, they perceive the cup, but not directly. Indirectly, first directly they perceive the image. Indirectly they perceive the cup. Still we must say, the conceptual mind still able to perceive the cup.
Okay.
Yes, next question, please.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question we have from Yiling. Yiling, please.
Could you say a little something about the relationship between the sevenfold method of reasoning by Chandrakirti and also the 4 keys method? So I read somewhere about the 4 keys method and the relationship between, is it 2 methods, but it seems similar in some parts of it. So what's the relationship?
Sevenfold?
The 4 keys and the sevenfold.
Oh, okay. I think you are talking about, in order to realize emptiness, we need to rely on logics, right? All logics, actually there's 9 different logics. 9 different logics. Within the 9, some logics mainly use to realize emptiness of the phenomena itself. I will come slowly. Within the 9 logics, some logic we use to realize emptiness of the phenomena itself. And some logic we apply to analyze emptiness of the phenomena's cause. Some logic we apply to realize emptiness of the result, the effect of the phenomena. Some logic we use to realize emptiness of the both cause and effect. Yeah, and sevenfold is a particular one of the logics. So I will try to explain you. The first, the 5 folds of the logics mainly use to realize emptiness of the phenomena itself. The 7 folds also mainly used to realize emptiness of the phenomena itself. Then the last, another one, also mainly used to analyze emptiness of the phenomena itself. Now the 7 folds, 5 folds, the Tathagata not exist inherently because Tathagata is not one with his or her body, but depend on the basis of the 5 aggregates. But it depends on the 5 aggregates, but not different, totally different entity. Number 1, number 2, right? The 3 one, it depends on the 5 aggregates, not depend inherently. 3, 4. Buddha or Tathagata not inherently depend on the basis. Tathagata has the body, but the not inherent body. These are the 7 folds. So this one, I think in the future, I think somehow if we have a time, we really need to go through the 9 or 7 logics. So because right now we don't have enough time to go everything very detailed. Because I have this book, I thought about, His Holiness will explain this the logics. So next time we will go.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is a question which I had been pondering in my mind every time I go for an initiation. Mm-hmm. Now, during HYT initiation, one part of the ceremony uses a flower.
Mm-hmm.
But that object, I would call it a seed. I would call it a seed, not a flower. Mm-hmm. So is there a lesson in emptiness there, or is it a case of using an invalid base that becomes valid by conventional acceptance?
Can you repeat the question again, please?
Okay. During the HYT ceremonies, we use the flower for part of it, a method, yeah? Mm-hmm. But you call it a flower, but I think for most of us in the outside the Tibetan world will call it a seed, not a flower. It would be biologically a seed. The whitish flat one?
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So is there a reason why you call it a flower? You know, I always wondered about it. Or is it because, I mean, why do you call a seed a flower? Seems to be given a name to a wrong base.
Why you are so worried about this one?
I'm just wondering whether there's a hidden lesson of emptiness there.
What for this method? Champaka method, Champaka. Actually, in the Indian language, they got Champaka method, Champaka flower. Look at, what do you think about, let's say, you know, let's say orchid flower, right?
From the garden, yeah.
Orchid flower, and then there's a stem, then there's a root, there's seeds. You can see there's a long kind of
stem and a root.
Yeah. So the Champaka method is very interesting. The seeds and the flower there's no gap. Actually, seeds, when you open, you can see that this is flower. Always you can see there are two seeds here. The rest of this flower.
Ah, I think it is part of the fig tree then. It is part of the fig plant.
Also, you must know, I think according to like Buddhist tradition, the very important kind of religious ceremony, they use this Champaka method, Champaka flower. There's a two reason. Reason number one, you know, Buddha's ordinary lifetime, he was so poor. He didn't have anything to offer to the Buddha or Guru when he generated bodhicitta. He was so poor. Then somehow he able to get the flower, the Champaka flower. Then he offered the Champaka flower to the Guru or Buddha. Then he generated bodhicitta. Number one. So that's why when we see the flower, we always remember, oh, Buddha Shakyamuni, one lifetime, he generated bodhicitta, offering this flower. Second, the flower is a very unique flower. Usually all flower blossom in the outside, you can see, right? Have you seen how the flower is grow?
I can guess it's probably inside a sucker, strong, big, petal-like looking sucker.
You know, look like container, everything inside. Maybe I think maybe someday it's 200 flowers is come together. It's very pure, very clean. That's why we use this flower. It's kind of, you can say seeds also, I think mainly is flower, not seeds. Yes?
Okay, very interesting, Geshe-la.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. So the next question from Jay. Jay.
Yeah. Hi, Geshe-la.
Hey.
Okay, this question, wait, let me read. You know, when we do the 35 confession, Buddha confession, right? After that, we are asked to reflect on the emptiness of each of the negative actions that we have accumulated. Okay, remember that even the negative actions do not exist from their own side, and then they arise in dependence on causes and conditions. So my question is, and then I answer myself. I'm so sorry. So I question, if they are empty, why then do we need to purify them? And then my answer is, they are empty. They are empty doesn't mean that they do not function. Very as good. When we create certain things that's negative, conventionally we still created them. So it's not empty per se like that. But then my question is, right, because negative actions arises from causes and conditions, right? So on the emptiness of them, do I think that
1 second, I think somebody knocked at the door.
Oh.
Okay, so please continue.
So I'm thinking there's two ways to think about it, but I'm not sure. Okay, the way to understand the emptiness of the negative karma that we have created, do we actually look at them as something that arises from many causes and effects, and therefore the negative karma arises, and therefore the negative karma itself per se does not really exist from its own side? Or do we use the teachings of the Prasangika to say that because they are merely labeled by the mind, and therefore they don't exist? But I find that if I use them as merely labeled by the mind and therefore do not exist, I cannot quite reconcile with that. Like, because it's merely labeled by the mind and therefore it is negative. I thought that the causes and effect things as empty in themselves is more applicable. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the first, I think you answer yourself is very correct. The negative karma, the nature is emptiness. We should not say negative karma is emptiness, okay?
Yeah.
The negative karma is conventional truth.
Yes.
The negative karma is, the nature is emptiness.
Yeah.
Still is function as a phenomena. Right? It's function, but it be negative, but still function as a, even though nature emptiness still exists, is function as a negative. Therefore, here also this morning somebody asked a similar question. Look at like a fire, and the fire about dreaming about fire. You can have two kinds of fire. Clear? One is actual fire in the real sense. Second is fire in dream. If you analyze both of them just arise from causes and condition, not able to arise independently. Yes. Both of them is empty of inherent existence. But when you touch the actual fire, it can burn. When you try to touch the fire in dream, it cannot burn.
Yes.
That means both of them empty of inherent existence, but there is a different functionality. The fire has a real function to burn your hands. Therefore, we really, when we think about emptiness, this morning students have emphasize very much. First, you need to realize, try to think again and again about emptiness. Then you need to think how things function. Therefore, you really need to look, you need to learn how to look balancedly, equally, empty of inherent existence, and conventionally is functioning. If functioning and conventionally is empty of inherent existence, you need to look balancedly, the conventional truth, ultimate truth. Okay, number one. Number two, you must remember the thing which exists is mainly label. The thing which is mainly label, not necessarily to be existent phenomena. Clear? The phenomena which exists is merely label, mainly designated phenomena. The thing which is only mainly label, mainly designated phenomena, not necessarily to be existent phenomena. For example, inherently existent is, we can say, merely label, merely designated, but not established. So still you need to study more precisely about the meaning of emptiness, establish merely designation. If you're able to see both of them equally, then you won't have any kind of confusion in your mind.
Is there any simpler way to put it?
This is, I think, you really study about the Lamrim, the wisdom chapter.
Okay.
Wisdom chapter, particularly the wisdom chapter, this is very clear. Then also, why not, the Lama Tsongkhapa, the essence of the gold, something like Leshe Yingbo. Yeah.
The title is Essence of the Gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for refined gold. Okay.
Oh, refined gold, yeah.
Thank you,
Okay.
Krishna.
Okay, next
Okay,
question.
thank you.
Please.
Krishna, we have 3 more questions. Okay, so next question is from Suji. Suji, please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Tashi Dilek, Yeshua. I'm just curious, how is impermanence different from emptiness?
Can you speak loudly?
How is impermanence different from emptiness?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why do we only use emptiness and not impermanence?
There's actually, very simple way I can answer, emptiness is a permanent phenomena. The impermanence is impermanent. There's a totally two different phenomena. It's good answer for you. Actually, it's very simple way we can say. Here, what we need to know the meaning of impermanence. There's a two level. One is the gross, one is subtle. Everybody able to apprehend, be able to, understand the gross impermanence. Every year we are catching edge. Things are changing, weather is changing, house is changing, jobs is changing, life is changing, everything is changing. This is the gross impermanent. The gross impermanent always caused by, second kind of condition. For example, you getting old, changing the weather, changing the environment is a different, is caused second factor. You need a second factor. For example, you have a glass, and somebody, hit the glass is going to broken. These are gross. This needs a second kind of condition. Then second level impermanence, the subtle impermanence. The subtle impermanence doesn't need second condition, second factor. The condition which is produced, it also cause to, change, cause to impermanent. Clear? The cause which is produced is same cause to change, same cause to decline, impermanence. So when you think the thing which is produced, the cause which is produced the phenomena, it cause to change, cause to decay, cause to impermanence, then you will realize things changing momentarily. Therefore, impermanence is important to realize. If you only meditate on impermanence, then your practice has a limited, just limited. Second, plus impermanence, if you're able to practice, realize emptiness, then your practice become unlimited. Therefore, impermanence, emptiness are totally different phenomena. There's a different logics. The logic which is we use to realize emptiness cannot use to understand impermanence. The logic which is used to realize impermanence, you cannot use it to realize emptiness. There's a different approach, there's a different meaning, there's a different kind of, the purpose to practice impermanence, practice of emptiness. Okay, next question, please.
Okay, Krishna. So the next question is by Yen. The question is cognitive obscurations. Krishna shared just now. The afflictive imprint left by ignorance is not cognitive obscurations. This is what Krishna shared just now. So Yen's question is then what actually constitute a cognitive obscuration from the Prasangika point of view?
Again, thank you so much asking this question, because many of you still you have the concept of obscuration, obscuration, the obscuration for omniscience. You still clinging your mind with the lower school. perceiving the two truths, perceiving, separately. Two truths, perceiving two truths separately, or clinging, our mind clinging, two truths is separate. This kind of minds is the obscuration for omniscience. And also, the person who asked question before, you also is very true, because Chandrakirti says, heaven eliminate the obscuration for omniscience. Then next, there's no clear interpretation. Then second, after Nagarjuna, so then Chandrakirti, then I think all the way to Lama Tsongkhapa. Also, Lama Tsongkhapa haven't explained very clearly what is the obscuration for omniscience. Then there's many different Tibetan masters. So one of the Tibetan masters say, yes, the mind which is perceiving two to separately, this kind of minds is the obscuration to omniscience. And also why? Because omniscient, the word is the Christian word, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotential, omnipotent, right? Potent. But Tibetan we say namchen. Okay, namchen. We say omniscient. No, omniscient means knowing everything. Knowing everything or not knowing everything, this is not important for in our life. In our life, it's very important to know the two truths by one mind. If you're able to see the two truths simultaneously with the one mind, then you are totally free from all kinds of affliction, negative thoughts. Therefore, namchen, nam means aspect, two aspect, the conventional aspect, ultimate aspect. When the mind, the two aspects able to see simultaneously by one mind, then you are Buddha. Whether you are Buddha or not is not depend on you able to see everything or not. This is not important. If you are able to see the two aspects simultaneously by one mind, then you are Buddha. Then you have omniscient. But the omniscient is not the correct word we can use in Buddhist term, Buddhist tradition. Okay, next question, please.
Okay, Kishla, the last question is regarding mind-only school. Kishla actually have shared just now, you would prefer the school to be labeled as a merely mind rather than mind only. Can you share more about why you prefer the name it merely mind? Thank you.
Okay, this is, I think, I'm not sure in India there's a, debate or not, because Chitta Mantra. Look, Chit, Mant. Chit like mind, right? Chit mantra, Chitta mantra. Means, look, in the Sanskrit also it's a merely mind. But in Tibet, there was one master. He said, according to the Chitta Mantra Sukha, everything is mind. Then Lama Jamyang Shepa, one of the very famous Tibetan scholar, he said, it's not the right way to say everything is mind. The best way to say merely mind. Merely mind. So what I have to say, we say mind only school mean, according to them, there's no physical phenomena, right? Are there, so I'm asking you, when you think about the term mind only school, what does it mean? According to the school, there's only mind, no matter. It's not correct. They believe in matter, they believe in form, they assert, they claim form. They have a form, not only mind. If there's only mind, then there's no object. There's no physical object. If there's no physical object, no sound, no smell, no taste, then how we can say mind only, only mind only. When you say merely mind, look at merely label. Also, when we are not saying only name, merely label means nothing exists from the object side. Merely mind means all the matter, the physical things exist, is there, but there's not totally separate from mind. Look like dreaming about elephant. When you have a dream about elephant, we should not say the elephant is dream, so the elephant is mind. No, we must differentiate the dreaming, elephant in the dream and mind is separate. It's not totally separate. The elephant in your dream is only merely your mind, but not mind. It's kind of reflection or characteristic of your minds. Yes, therefore, for me, I follow the Tibetan, particularly Jaya Jepa, also the Sanskrit, Chitta Mantra school, means a merely mind school, not only mind only school. Yes, this is I want to say. And thank you so much, all of you, to attend the revision class. Then I hope see all of you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Kishila. Thank you everyone for joining. I'll see you tomorrow for the third session.
Thank you so much.